Our first presenter is the Washington Bureau Chief of NBC News and the host of Meet the Press, one of the preeminent political reporters of our nation's capital. Please help me welcome Tim Russert. Tim?
Thank you. First of all, Ted Koppel, congratulations. Thank you for setting a standard for all of us. Congratulations. This is the 60th anniversary for Meet the Press, the longest-running television program in the history of the world. And I'm often asked, as I was tonight, my favorite Meet the Press interview. That happened in May of 1992. There was a fellow running for president who was ahead of George Herbert Walker Bush and Bill Clinton in the polls in May of '92. His name was Ross Perot. And he came on Meet the Press and said, the deficit is the most important problem confronting our nation. I said, Mr. Perot, I've heard you say that. I recognize that as an issue. Now that you're a candidate for president, what's your solution? He said, what? I said, this is the way it works. If you're running for president, you've identified the problem. Now, what's your solution? He said, now then, if I knew you were going to ask me those trick questions, I'm going to come on your program. And we went back and forth and back and forth. I caught a shuttle flight to New York, and the flight attendant ran down the aisle, and she said, that interview with Ross Perot was unbelievable. What do you think of him? And I said, ma'am, unlike a lot of outlets on TV or cable or talk radio and now the blogs, I don't comment about my guest, but I'm endlessly curious, as a viewer, as a voter, as a flight attendant, what did you think of Ross Perot? She paused, put her head down, and looked up and said, he strikes me as the kind of guy that would never return his tray table to the upright position. Amen. One serious note. We have the very best in the business in this room, and we are now covering very aggressively a presidential race for the next President of the United States in 2008. And it means that we have to hold these candidates accountable. Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative. And there's a whole new era where the landscape is filled with pamphleteers who have a strong ideology, and they want to call foul every time a reporter asks a tough question. And we know that is the reality, but we must resist any temptation to pull our punches or to try to placate people who have already chosen up sides. They are trying to get their candidate elected, not trying to allow a free and vigorous press scrutinize their candidate. The other day, I had a candidate on Meet the Press who went to a fundraiser later that day. And the introduction went like this: I won't be like Tim Russert and those other guys on TV and show clips of what you said about the Iraq War 2 years ago. Oh no, heaven forbid. How can we possibly hold candidates accountable for what they said or how they voted, no matter what the issue, no matter what the philosophical position? And so, as competitive as our industry is, I ask that all of us lock arms, brothers and sisters as journalists, to respect one another when we are aggressive and going after these candidates. It's in the interest of the First Amendment, and all of us are in that together.